John here. It's 8:27 in the evening of Saturday night, and just thought I'd do a little clip while there's a big concert on at the present time here, and lots of people down in the restaurant below having a good time. So I thought I'd just make some few points here, and we'll just stick to the project and investments and shares, so that I can get my brain around that and give the Cook Street a little rest, for now at least, for the next day or two. And Monday and Tuesday I'll just wait for Sergeant Dennis Culverwell to give me a call, and just leave it at that for now and try to get those shares going. If there's any questions anybody wants to ask, just leave your questions on Facebook. I'll pick one site out, one of the sites, and I'll work on that particular site. So I don't have to go looking all over the place, because there's too many sites around that I tend to forget about all the rest of them, and just tend to go to something that interests me for the day. But we're going to try and give it a bit of time with the projects, and don't worry if I don't answer your questions straight away. It will be answered, because I'm crossing a lot of different industries and trying to keep an eye on politics. I always watch. I spend about 2 or 3 hours just on politics and watching the happenings up in Britain. And I see Matt Taylor just put something on my website. He's a bit interested in the tidal turbines. That's very exciting project, that, and I can't wait to build the turbines in the sea, in Pentland Firth or across from Ireland. I hope that Ireland is still there. One of the ones they got going for 150,000, I think, pounds, 94 acres. So it'll be ideal there to set up all the hydrogen, jet fuel and solid metal fuels there, and it won't take much to ship that to shore. We've got plans for a fast ferry that just climbs out of the water, goes straight down under the sea to the bottom, and comes out and goes straight onto the land. So I've got one of those to build on the east coast here, and we'll get on to that at some stage, but we might build it in South Korea, because I had something going with Hyundai and Daewoo at the time. Kawi was doing the tidal turbine bridge project. That was in about 2010 to 2012. We had all this site going, and the pay to take pay was going, the bullion vault was going. We were credit right up and bullion vault with our bank, so I was doing pretty well until the other guys, the lawyer and that, spoiled the whole thing. So I had to start from scratch again. And if it wasn't for Jamie, I wouldn't have come back and did anything. I would have just left it alone. So it's all thanks to her to get me interested in doing it again, because she said no, she would help, and she was meant to be with me to put all the Pacific, at least all our history together, and to record everything I'm doing. Plus, she has a lot of interest in what I do with everything. The tidal turbine projects, she's quite interested in that. But I think when we get something going, she'll be really, really enjoying what we're going to see. And I want to go up into Scotland to see the turbines, and then drop one of these ones across them. And Kui, that's how you say it, Kui, C-O-W-I, Kui design engineers are in Denmark. I've been speaking to them over the phone some time ago, about a year and a half ago, I think 2 years, and we were ready to go and do those turbines, and I had the money to pay them then, but unfortunately it went haywire with those crook people. That I've got to watch. Jamie's there to keep an eye on anybody that's trying to put one across me, because I'm very easy to get sidetracked with anybody that comes along with other ideas and mix it up with what I'm doing, and then it goes off the track. We've had a few mishaps up till now. Some people want to help, but it was going not to plan. And they had their own ideas, so that's why I end up on my own with Jamie, and that's about it. I've got some other people that are interested, but they're busy doing their own thing, and this doesn't earn money yet until I get one or the other thing going, and it's quite difficult to do the whole lot at once, especially getting the government issues sorted out and the consents for ourselves in the sea to put the turbines in. Right around the world with this flag we have here, this Confederation flag here. This is our ticket into the world, and so I just want to stress that point, that we are very serious about what we do, and I don't take anything for granted when it comes to serious projects like this. And a lot of people have been unkind in a lot of ways and try to put me off, but however we're still here and starting to make a mark, starting to make a move now. I'll just mention a few points here, just to pick up a little bit at a time for you to understand how the whole system works. So we have to get first of all, get the flag and the country sorted, and we'll get known pretty well, because the UN already knows this flag. We're supposed to be in the UN with the Confederation, and I'm supposed to get the funding for that, and that's why our Confederation here hasn't gone to the UN or the World Court, because it was going to cost a lot of money to take a delegation. And so I've left that behind now, because I just have to push on with the main issue is the flag. Out of everything, this was where the commerce is, and the banking. So we'll and economy. You had to have an economy and a government at the same time. So I've gone back to square one from England and start from that end and come back this way again, and that's how it's going to pan out. So a lot of our revenues will come from other industries that are changing, and also for experts in fields that want change. So the opportunities are there for people around the world to join and have the same rights as everybody right through. And it's neutral. It doesn't have overpower over one person to the other. So we're going on the British system. The better the devil you know than the devil you don't. And so I'm sticking with the British, although some people here, I'll say it anyway, they are going with Chinese or Russian as our main people that would have been in the Confederation and the UN, but I'm not going down that track. I'll leave that to the people who are in the Confederation that want to carry on with that. And I'm going along the Moai King William track, and that's more original to the memorials and to of Moai and King William. They go together as a better deal and a safer environment to work in this way, and to divide all the benefits to all people, not just one type of native people. So I might be talking rough to a lot of Pākehās and white people, but I really want to stress that there are bad ones amongst there, and black people, and brown or whatever. I think at the end of the day, there is a lot of power being abused in the hierarchy in the elite side of the account, that we're going to square up with this flag and go back to England and make a new fresh start now that the Queen's gone out of there, and to Brussels, so she can stay over in Brussels and run her business over there. But we're going to investigate her, and I'm coming there to arrest her, and that's what Matt's just put on tonight. Matt Taylor just put one of his clips on, so I'm supporting him, being an ex-military police man, and I'm hoping that he does get the police job there. So if he does, then we'll join up the party, the SOS independent party, with the Moai King William party, some way along those lines of coalition, even as two parties or one party. So we can talk about that when we meet in person. And I'm looking forward to meeting those people with Jamie to get on with it. We've got a big job to do in the Pacific here as well. So when you look at it from our point of view down this way, the Pacific is the biggest ocean and biggest landmass under the sea of any resource that Britain, in size and area, would benefit from being the fifth partner here in the Moai Pacific Ring of Fire area of our discovery doctrines. So we've got all that as title to our legacy, to King William and his title. We're going to have to keep with the King of Hanover at the present time, because the sovereignty has gone out of Britain, UK, into the EU Parliament with the Queen, and she's trying to rip the EU Parliament apart now, and gone with Merkel. And they're starting to feed Israel submarines and jets to help Netanyahu and the Queen's business in America to try and overpower Britain. But I don't think that it's going to backfire, because I think the British military are not very happy with the way they're being treated. So this is just to the British military, once again, that we are putting this flag up there beside your British flag, which is going to be only half worth, and the other half of it's gone. Scotland will go to independent after the elections. That's my predictions, and that's how they want to make sure they've got control of their country for once in their lifetime, and make progress, because England's being too bully. And but that's my Rogan side of my family, is in England, and I'm talking England now, and not so much UK at the present time until after the election. So at the moment, my way of speaking will be the land laws of England, the laws of King William, England, and Hanover. So I'm coming there to Devonport to set up the pound note and the coins, and you'll see that I'll put them all together on the website so that you can find everything. And it's very difficult to go to Facebook and try and find anything, because they're all mixed up with animals and humans and all sorts of things on my site, on the main site. So I'll have to try and put it out, otherwise people miss the best parts, all mixed up, and I don't want to have fraud stuff mixed up with everything else. But it's interesting to just read through the pages and find something that is to your liking, because all the stuff I put on are things I'm thinking of at the same time to fill in time. So I just made a list of things here, and just run through them. Beautiful night, it's cool, and it's quieting down now. It'll be noisy after when they come out of the concert, because the car park's full across the other side there, and boy, that keeps me going all night, because the bar below, I can smell the food, and I want to go down and join them, but you know, Not so. One day maybe, but we've got a job to do. Okay. So from me and Jamie and my crew, Desmond and Dean and who's the other one? Robert, and very soon it'll be my daughter when believing it, when she sees it, the thing kick into life. So she's waiting there. I don't think I'll mention her name. I'll just leave her, a mystery at the moment. And also my boy, he's going to be good to fit, and also the other girl. And the other girl's, gone away over to America. And that's about it. I can't think of any other ones I did have. Maybe somewhere hiding away under a rock. Anyway, here they are. I'll just rattle off some of the things. The £1 trillion note, I'll just explain that. That £1 trillion note, when it's sold to the bank, this is one of the revenues that it will give us credit straight away from the banks themselves, because this is just one bank that'll buy one £1 note, £1 trillion of a levy debtor against the fraud people. Okay, so we'll sell it to them, and the bank will take security of the debt instrument, and so they're going to be fixed. They won't be using the Ponzi scheme. No Ponzi's allowed here, and they've got a margin of profit above the base rate of what the middlemen either of what we have at the moment. If the Rothschild Bank of England is 5%, then we're down to 4.5% per annum of £1 trillion notes. So that's 45 billion straight to you shareholders. And I'll just say it one more time. The rate we're going, the pound notes, those ones you see on Facebook, are debtors levy instruments. The blue one is going to be the same one for every person who is in the government, Crown, corporations, who commits a crime in front of me. There's a whole heap of them that are going to get stitched with one of those for all these years. I have written all the affidavits, over 3,000 of them, against all the politicians. Some of them are passed away, and they get the £1 trillion right through the whole time that they've held me up, and our confederation, and they've been creaming the money and spinning it. So we're going to balance the books that way. We're going to balance the Queen's side of the ledger in the levy of debtors to the creditor, the King, Royal Revenue, and the King's Bench Court. That's where I'm operating from for this business of the pound note. And so we have a long string of offences of all the people and all the ministers right there in this government at the moment. 120 ministers. Now there's you could very well say there's 120 trillion right there. Okay, I'm going to rack it up from that 1 trillion to the 970 million trillion pound note, the green one, with me and Jamie on it. Okay, so we're going to, if you work it out, how much the Queen and her corporations have stolen from the people in the world, that means plundered, I'm talking about, and defied what King William set up for us, set up for the people, the ordinary people, that the Queen got a hold of it and the way she went with it, and so she's going to lose all of that, right? When I go to England, I'll take the trust off. All that gold is what I'm talking about, the revenue. That's another revenue. I missed it in the last video. The other revenue is the gold missing. Okay, that we're going to account for over 750,000 tonnes. You might well say it's over 1 million tonnes of gold that is missing from the Queen and the HM Treasury, and where she's hidden it, I'm not too bothered. It's what I estimated from the figures of what the gold is that has been stolen and taken out of the land of England. Okay, everything gone from the HM Treasury. I'll find out, because I think Gordon Bowden will have some sort of figure. We'll match our figures up with any other people who are willing to come on board. Once we get things rattling and going, then they can come up with their expertise on economics of budgets and things like that to join as member, and away you go. Okay. While I'm thinking about it, while I'm thinking, I've got a list over here I can find out. While I'm thinking about it, everyone who joins will be paid by the mobile phone. Okay, the number of your phone. You clock in to take pay, and it'll put the clock time on, and that's how we can tell when you're working or when you're not in any country. Okay, so we can put a time limit on what you have, how many hours you get credited straight into your account. It goes direct straight in. The moment you start working, the money goes straight into shares. Okay, you're not losing on the time to wait a whole week for your wages. You're getting paid by the minute. Okay, for every minute you work, you can work any hours to suit. But we all know, we can tell, we'll have managers to watch the phones and when they're on and when they're not on, because they can check up, and that'll be the managers looking after those people in that country who are supposed to be working. Okay, we can tell with the phones that have got Skype on it. We'll manage to get Skype onto all the phones when we get around to it, but in the meantime, we're only looking at people that can't afford phones, that we'll give them away free, not the smartphones. We'll just give away a basic phone that has the app in it and the bare essentials that can communicate with us in voting online anytime. When we have webinars, they can come on to the mobile phone and put in their input and the questions into the webinar in the time frame that we have meetings. Okay, we'll have somebody organising meetings regular, and we'll have a monthly company meetings to bring everybody up to date with accounts and everything. We're going with Xero, Xero company. I was with them in 2012 and a little bit earlier, I think. When we had everything going, I knew what to do then, but now it's we'll try and figure out and fit them all back in on our site. So everything will be on the mobile, all the information, all the company, everything, and there's no need to go and look up to find what a turbine is and all that, because the share, you should just go and swipe your phone across and then watch what happens to the accounts. That should increase with even just one £1 trillion note sold to one bank. That's just one bank, and if we keep selling the £1 trillion note in other banks, then we're expecting that, and 250 countries that we go to, it'll have a straight run through with this flag, because it's already been set up as a trade flag right through the wheel. That will fly on our ships and our submarines and our planes and whatever, and you can carry the little ones around. I've got little ones here, and that's all on your t-shirts. We'll have t-shirts with them on it, so that you can walk straight to the airport with the flag flying, or a little flag flying, just to tell them that you're a member. Okay, and there's no way this system can be crooked or duped or whatever, or hacked, as far as I'm concerned. The bank I'm talking about, and the method of take pay to transfer money, and there's a limit on how much can be banked anyway at a time, so it can't go too high. But any big amounts, the companies that come in, they'll be buying big shares at least a £1 million share at the minimum. Okay, those are the big manufacturing companies that do the steel, the generators, the concrete, and all the tanks for the hydrogen, and the ships, building and carting things around, and the aircraft. All those. The Russian aircraft are going to be using the heavy lift helicopters, and also the aircraft, the big Antonovs, to carry things. That's bulk, so we're going that way when we start to pick up. And also the jet fleet, Okay, we have a jet fleet to surveillance around the country of where we are on the platforms in the sea. Okay, so we can put those platforms right in the middle of the ocean, anywhere, in any deep water. It doesn't matter, because we'll go in the currents where ships don't go, not in the shipping lanes. Okay, we'll be out of the shipping lanes, and particularly in places where ships won't go, where it's rocky, and like Ranfurly Bank, you won't have ships going through there because it's low there. It's only 14 metres at low tide, 14 to 20 metres at low tide. So it's an ideal place on the ridges for these turbines to be going in there. Now here we go, just go along a bit from the pound note. We've got the green one, the 970 million trillion pound note. That's against the Queen and her corporations, the 300 royal families, the Vatican Church, Church and State, and the Washington D.C. and Rothschild banks and governments that are using the Queen's head as the head of state. Okay, and the Commonwealth, all that. So we're going to be taking over the Commonwealth. I'll tell you with this flag. I'll tell you that much at the moment, because this flag here, the Queen is using this flag, and she's spoiling King William's power. So we'll take it off her. I'll remove it off her, and that's the end of America with her title in there, because we'll seize all that lot with the membership there. All this Daryl Payne and other. There's plenty of them around there that will go this way, and they'll be just no different from us or anybody else in the world. So it's not going to matter who's who, just as long as they've got the same share, the same rights, the same patents, and the same British passport to go to flag free passage through the world. Okay, I'm just telling you a true story that has always been there for us, and we're supposed to be the hub here in New Zealand, a peaceful place and a centre of attention to bring all the world together, and that's what this is. That's supposed to be happening from here because that's where the Queen's got her business here, but she's taking it for her own royal families. Now, I'll just say that Matt Taylor, I'll be there before long. We've just got a couple of snags here to go through, and we're hoping that the senior sergeant, he's taken over, because that's the last was there with Tony Gellenhuis, the manager of the customer service desk in the front office, said to me, my file is with Dennis, Dennis Caldwell, and I asked for him, not Tony didn't give him to me. So I went through great lengths to find somebody that I can rely on to fix the fraud. Now, I've got some more things on Facebook about the fraud, mortgage fraud, and the laws. You'll see that I just stuck it on there now. What happens with mortgage fraud? It's bad. When you start doing that, you're starting to muck around with this flag. There's the only mortgage flag in the world that can handle that, and that's only certain people can use this flag for what is designed to do specifically mortgages. Okay, that's the flag for mortgages. No other flag is mortgage flag. This is the only one. Okay, so it's a multi-purpose flag to bring everybody in the world together, and you'll have the same deal as everybody else, and you'll don't have to buy cars or houses or anything. They'll be provided and insured and everything, and you're insured as well. So we cover the costs of you. The only thing you have to do is to click on the shares, and what you don't use is earning more to keep you self running. Now I'll just go through some more of the things other than the pound note. I don't think I've missed something out on the pound note as a levy debtor instrument. Okay, so now we'll go from that to the turbines on the platform bridge. The turbines are the huge hydraulic operated blades that operate in the sea and slow the tide down. They actually stall the tide and that's where it gets the power from. Especially if the speed of the water is up to anything up to 20 knots or even 10 knots. If it's 10, a regular 5 to 10 knots, then in a continuous one-way direction is best, because it never stops. Okay, when it stops, you're losing momentum in the whole heavy concrete steel water ballasted blade, because it floats up and down the water at the right level on the multi-blade system vertically. Okay, so you got one blade above the other and above the other. So at 10 meter high and 12.5 meter diameter, radius. So 25 meter diameter and 10 meters high is quite big. Okay, and it switches blades, swivels on both sides against the tide. And so that's where we get it power from the turbine. I'm just explaining a little bit about some of the issues I'm going through at the present time, to bring myself up to speed out of politics and everything else, to just let you know a little bit about what we're all about. And all these things I'm saying, it belongs to you. And the other part, while I'm thinking about it, is that the British military, the Scotland Yard, and the British government, not the Crown. We're going to take the Crown right out, and its Queen right out. She's left now, so we just all we have to do is finish it all off and restart it with the new general elections at the moment, the new government coming in. And hopefully it's going to be Scotland at the head or somewhere close to that. And their coalition partner, I don't know who it is. And so we're not too interested in trying to match anybody with this flag or politics. We're just going to put it up and make it legal with the first pound note going to the bank. We should have been on Cook Street, and then we would have gone straight to the bank with the pound note, and it would have been on its way, and will never stop. It will just increase from there. So now we go on to the that's the turbines. So how we get the power is we slow the tide. If it's going at 7 knots, the blade is going at 2 knots. Okay, so it's trying to hold back the water, but it can't. So it keeps turning around, and that's how we get the power. Okay, massive power and tons of water moving column. Okay, now we go on to the shears. The shears, we some happy people down there walking past. So we'll fix the shears at 25 pound. So that's the minimum, and a 10 pound annual fee. So that's at 35 pounds. We'll give you one share, and from that share, it takes its portion from whatever we recover in debts from the Ford people, and also from what we accumulate as share money from any new business we make out of it, and shops and everything, and buildings and revenue, normal revenue. It would get its share of 25 pounds, equivalent to the maximum amount of shareholders, divided by how much we actually turn over, minus the fees for administration. Okay, so that's a 25 pound share, and then we've got, man, it's hot. Yeah, cool me down a bit. And good for my eyes. With the shares, we've got the next lot of shares is 10,000. That's for people who want to invest. Okay, there's no hard and fast rule about how much you should put in. So we're only going to keep it to 10,000, and the next one is 1 million for the big companies. Okay, 10,000 for someone who wants to put in that much in one hit. Otherwise, it's 25 pound in a lot of little bits. So it doesn't matter which way you go, because there's a billion shares in each country. to get rid of in these shares. That we'll modify them later in different share options, but at the moment we just got 3 options, and I think that's enough to start with, and to get us on track. And so, yeah, 3 lots of shares, and what I was going to say about the mobile phone. The mobile phone, you can buy any amount. You don't have to buy a share specifically at that price. You just keep depositing any amount of money. It didn't matter. It'll work itself out from your balance how many shares you can get, because you're going to be withdrawing money to live on, right? From what's in the account. You can see it straight away on your mobile. The balance, and we can't take out more than I think with Tag Pay it's 2,800, okay, at a time, in one go, or deposit in one go. So you can't deposit more than 2,800, I think it is. The last time it was that, and most other places they won't go that high. They only get $100 or no more. So otherwise you have to go in your bank to go and get it. But that's where we are. And any more big amounts, that's arrangement through direct into Tag Pay, and then into our bank. Okay, we've got to go into the bank, and because Tag Pay doesn't earn interest, it's got to go straight through there and straight to the bank. Mind you, their fees are very good. They're very minimal. And it doesn't cut into your share too much, because it's one text is 20 cents. That's all it takes to deposit money and withdraw. It's very quick. So we've got 2 mobile phones, one for deposits and one for withdrawals. Okay, when you want to withdraw, one of our phones will ring, and it'll be one or the other. Okay, just to let you know a little bit about how it works. And all your receipts are there. Okay, you don't get them out on your phone, and printers or whatever hooked up to your phone. Okay, so we go from the shares to you can ask any questions, and just leave them there on the Facebook or on the YouTube site. And so now we go on to buildings. The buildings, I'll just go into shops, and on the say this Cook Street. I don't know how many floors will go down below sea level, because the way the building I've designed it is going to be bored right down, and all the dirt, earth from in that hole will be used for concreting and making precast concrete, steel structure concrete, sealed up with the permazyme concrete, liquid concrete that is used for aquafarms, so they don't have cement to kill the powers and things that stick to it, and seaweed, and all our seaweed projects out in the sea. We'll be using all of that, but in this case we're going to be using that dirt for projects out here in Mangere, for a new airport there, and it will be steel and concrete, these sections of precast that we build in the factories. Okay, and we'll have a factory to build them, so we can take the dirt and cart it with our trucks to where it's going. Okay, so that's the buildings. The housing will be in there, all the ones underneath the ground all the way down. So that I guess in the height of that hill from where Sky Tower is, just across the other side on Nelson Street, going downhill, that's where Cook Street is, that would take, at my guess, at least 200 stories all the way down to sea level, below sea level, and the ship will come in through the side somewhere, Herne Bay, then open it up and go straight under into the middle underneath there as a seaway, for the ship to come straight in there, the luxury ships that we bring in, and the ones we're going to be building. Okay, so you won't see it coming along as under the water, and it'll just come in under the sea. It'll be coming on GPS, and no one will see it. It'll just come up and come from the bridge, under the harbour bridge, and around that side and straight under, straight to the bottom of the Cook Street property, and unload there. So the sheep people can hop in there on these fast ferry submarine. Okay, that's what I'm building. I've designed it already. You might have seen it on Facebook, just cut up in bits. I don't want to put the real one there, otherwise someone will follow it. Anyway, that's just another project and income, okay, from shipbuilding. And we are going to South Korea, into the big factories over there, because they've got some for sale and for lease, but I don't like leasing. We just outright buy everything. So everything's paid off, okay? There's no loans, no mortgages, no nothing like that. Okay, we don't believe in that. Only have money going into people's pockets. That's how it works. So the membership in Britain, so we're hoping that a lot of people there will buy the shares and understand what's happening with this flag here, with as far as Devonport in England is concerned, where we're setting up his legacy with his memorial at the gate on his horse, and King William. So we'll put the flag up, this flag, beside his memorial, and on Plymouth, on the High Court in Plymouth, and I'll go and sit on the other side as the King's Bench in that court. Okay, so that's his property over there. His estate goes right up there around Plymouth, and all the way down to Devonport and Surrey. Okay, all that electorate area of his estate. That's what we're going to develop in there, and it'll be good for people because there'll be plenty of employment for members. Yeah, I've got it. I'll do that later. So I'll just carry on through these little things here. We've got big workshops like Rangitukia. You see it on Facebook. It's 60 meters wide and 100 meters long. That's one building that goes up pretty fast. Okay, so we're doing that out of earth concrete and this Parmesan liquid concrete. There's plenty of those products around, but I've just picked that one at the moment because I had things with it before, where I was going to buy the license here, and to buy all the liquid hydrogen, liquid concrete, and it's friendly on fish and seaweed and powers, especially. You can stick to it. The panels we put under the sea on the bridge will be like a beehive, so they can all stick to it, and some cubby holes for crayfish and all the rest of it. So I've got all that planned as income. Okay, so these things I'm telling you about are generating income. So we've been through the buildings, the warehouses, and the small cities. That we're going to have a complete hydrogen city. Everything is electric, and it's the tanks that we have, the metal hydrogen tanks, will be electric conversion back through fuel cells into power. Okay, we're going to trial these in Auckland with Vector Power Company and Transpower Power Companies that have got the main trunk lines operating around this area, and Kaipara. Okay, so we've got those types of buildings and plane hangars and all the rest of it. You can get a lot in there. So the project of shops and refrigeration, mainly refrigeration hydrogen for processing foods. We can package them for export straight away on the airport at the bridge out in the middle of the ocean. Hang on a second. I'll just cool off. It's really chilly. Oh, yeah. So that's some more things that we're investing in and spending our budgets on all this revenue that we're going to pick up. It's just normal business, like any other business. There's a lot of fraud business, private investigation and private prosecution business that's going on here in Australia. So we've got shops, refrigeration for packaging on the bridge. We have shops on these complex. In these Cook Street, it will have all the fisheries from the east coast and all the produce from the farms around down there, dairy products and milk and everything else that they'll put with. We'll get all the machines to do everything there. Not big milk factories, we're only going to do small ones. And we don't need one big one because it's too expensive to run around the place, and we can keep the cost of running down to a minimum. We have electric trucks, everything's going to be electric and converted from liquid hydrogen, either in solid metal form or liquid hydrogen, okay, one or the other, into batteries, converters, I mean, fuel cell converters, and batteries if they're running low, the emergency to get back. But all in all, we have that type of income on top of everything else. And some of the things I'm saying are more income on top of the ones I just told you in the last video. So the refrigeration is very important for air conditioning and from the hydrogen itself. So it's got plenty of uses for food and for packaging and for plastics. Manufacturing and all those sort of things that we'll be engaging, and even the steel company here to make the steel ourselves and take over any losing companies and put the Moai name on it. So everything that's a brand name on every product, and people being self-employed, all those people who are joining, you're more or less self-employed. In this industry or in this share system, you're really got the opportunity of being self-employed at what trade you do. You can do your own thing, then put all the products through internationally through this company, okay? And like I say, it's owned by the people, run by the people. So we'll be hiring people in any of the industries they promote as their expertise, and other manufacturing companies, steelworks and also concreting works that supply us with their trade products and also their expertise and guarantees of their work. So all the bridge will be built by contractors, and they put their name to it and guarantee everything so that it don't break down, or it be serviced regularly to not break down in the middle and lose. Right? We're not to the side of losing money, of investors' money. Okay, we'll carry on with processing of meat, agriculture, fruit and veggies, packaging, and on the bridge. Okay, everything. I'm just talking about the tidal turbine bridge. It can go in any direction, this way, that way, that way, that way, that way, in the sea, and the airport running on one of them, anything up to 4 kilometers long, the bridge, okay, 4 kilometers long, and the turbine spinning on the bottom, and one miss one, and the next pile, and then put the turbines in so that it's got stability in the sea, okay. And so we've got more revenue from shops and warehouses and industry working inside them, and even the big shops, big buildings on the east coast with 100 meters long and 60 meters wide. You can buy them just like that and go up very quickly. So we've got that running at the moment in our planning. Then we go to packaging on the bridge. Yes, that's what I said there. And export straight from there on the plane straight to the country who's bought it. Okay, so we don't muck around and ship them taking days. Everything's going to be by plane now, and because we've got bulk fuel to fly anywhere for next to nothing. Okay, our overheads will be lower and less chance of losing revenue for the shareholders. Okay, so this is a sovereign state inside the Cook Street. We're still going to take it no matter what they say. It will end up with it. It's racking up their bill at the same time. They have to pay it under the British law. Now we've got, it's a sovereign state, yes, I said that. It was on the 12th of March 2015 when I put the notice into the police station that we're seizing the place, the property, and then on the 30th I went to seize the office, but they wouldn't move, so they're in contract with me and leave it at that. Now, it's fisheries, fuel, submarine and ships. So we've covered the fisheries, the deep sea fisheries. I better do a little bit more of that. We'll have submarines on there, electric ones, that can take people down below for tourism. So that's the other one, is tourism, mass amount of tourism. While we're making those ships for tourism in the Pacific. At the East Cape and Rangitukia, we'll build those ships there, and when the Navy comes in, the British military, they can repair their ships there and bring the expert mechanics and engineers there. Okay, we'll live in our little huts in the hill. We'll have the holiday homes, because that's not big high rise. We're only going to have single stories out, and to save looking like concrete city. And so we'll be, that's some more planning, so we've got submarine shops, we've got maintenance and license for vehicles, and like I say, there'll be everything we have. Everybody's car will be electric and very powerful in our group as members. Okay, so really we sort of supply the cars on rental long term, so they can change it every now and again. If they don't want it, it's not big enough, I'll just bring it back in and we'll give them another one. Okay, so really they're only deducting any expenses against their mobile phone to us to pay the share of the vehicle and its maintenance. Okay, so we've got to foot the cost of the car and the house as well, so they don't need to own anything. They'll just have the lease agreement to lease the car and the house, and when they want to go overseas or something like that, and they can go and live straight in that country by making sure there's one empty when they get there. House I'm talking about, apartment, or when they get to that country, they can go straight there. Okay, that's another one. That's more income in that lot from the fisheries and the fuel and the submarine tourists and ship tourists and fishing, deep sea rod line fishing. So we've got a shipping port out there. So instead of coming into Tauranga or into Auckland, the ships will park there, and the smaller ships come and get their goods off our platform. Okay, it's pretty quick to load up any ship from our platform, because we can chill everything of products that have come in on from overseas, and that ship will unload the whole lot onto the platform, and the ship from inshore will come out and pick it up. Okay, they'll just come out and pick it up. So that's that. So we get revenue from that, holding in port and renting the space for the ship. Okay, and just tie the ship up and pay for it being there at a minimal cost, because we can negotiate on that sort of industry. So we go down to try and get through it now, because it's getting long. Deep sea submarine fishing, and then eco farms. So we've got eco farms on top of it, on income. Okay, so it's more income, more it's stacking up. And then we've got heavy helicopter lifts, the big Mi-26 helicopter, take 150 tons. Okay, so a big load. It can take the fuel straight to land, but we're going to be using the submarine, that submarine I'm building, to take the liquid hydrogen faster underwater on that ship on the top of it. Okay, we can get at least 6 of those big long tanks the length of the ship on, and it'll fly through the water and carry them on its wings straight to the shore and surface right there where it's going to. Okay, it'll GPS all the way. Now we're down to hydrogen ship. Everything will be more or less running on our own hydrogen, so it'll keep the overhead costs down and less wear on vehicles, and because everybody can just top up. We have the electric fuel stations where we have tanks in there that convert the hydrogen into electricity, and at the gate. Okay, so that's not a problem. We can just leave that there on the homes and leave a bottle with them that'll last a month or so in electric hydrogen and or electricity. Okay, so each house has got its own. Line to shore. Oh yeah, we'll have another means of getting things to shore with a hydrogen ship floating along a line going from the bridge right to the shore, and that's an option, but we're not talking about that at the moment. Cars, trucks are all electric hydrogen. Okay, one or the other at the same time. Rent that in houses. Yeah. Okay. What happens here is you, if you've got a family or single, we'll put you in one of the units in the block, and then it comes out of your mobile phone. It works out automatically on how much is deducted for your part in renting and having a car on hand, and other things that you'll be buying from us. Okay, including food and whatever. Schools, we've got our own schools and universities. Okay, so there's no need to go to the conventional school, because some of them don't work out really well. For the kid won't do well because he's trying to do something he doesn't want to do at school. But this way he does, because we make sure the kids come first in any decision making. So the school, universities, and co-ops. We have co-ops running to share our produce amongst ourselves. Okay, including fish out in the sea. They'll come ashore, and then people can have a choice of buying it or going to a restaurant and eating it. So housing, factory built. All the housing and the projects on land are pre-done, cast, and no concrete and water on the site needed in these type buildings. Okay, they're pre-built in a factory. Okay, we're just about there. The factory built. Yep. Earth concrete. We're using earth concrete for all our construction buildings and roads. Okay, we're using that. They use that in hot countries and they use it in cold countries. It never affects it. Okay, so that's what we keep safe and do that. Now we've got ecofarms. Patents. We have patents of our own under King and this flag to go anywhere with our patents, and people will know that. The UN knows this flag already and us, and we didn't have the money to go there, so that was the end of that. Patents for housing, patents for honey, and all our own natural products here, indigenous, before the Pākehā came and put their own discoveries on things that are already being discovered. Okay, so we'll reverse that back in our law, and that you can't go and use other people's laws to make your own law out of nothing. So housing is also factory built. Earth, concrete, will be standing beside that model, and they will choose which one they want. So it's really pre-planned stuff. Housing, factory built. Earth, concrete, that's what we're using for concrete on the roads. Aqua farms, patents for honey, well, everything patents for trade with people. I'm just saying something that I just wrote. Patents for honey and everything, just full stop. Trade with the people, okay, that's best. Insure vehicles, something. Insured vehicle with the people. Trade with the people. Insurance vehicles around something. Can't see problem. Insure the houses, pre-ions, bubus, in since I patents for honey, everything trade with the people. Insure vehicles, something, insurance, general insurance, vehicles grounded, insure vehicles guarded, insure vehicles, house per person's business, insure the house person's business, self-empty and play by TP. Okay, so that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to read you that, and we can call this quits on the video for now. So I just wanted to show you night, and oh, everybody's gone dark now down there in the restaurant. They were all eating outside before. Yeah, so anyway, we won't worry about that. I just wanted to turn the camera that way. I'll turn the camera that way and you can have a little look. Okay? So that's what our night looks like. I think it's more or less pretty dark. And that's the restaurant down there. Okay? Making all the noise. And it'll come out later. Well, the concert people will come out. Okay? That's the Sky Tower right there. You can see it. Oh. To the left of that round thing there. There's the Sky Tower there. Okay, Vero's up there. Sky Tower's there. Right there, you just can't see it. Anyway, there you can see a little bit more of it there. Okay. So that's our night out there. And I'll just put this back here and finish off for the night because I was falling asleep then. And so that's me for the night. And I'm just my t-shirt. Earth, wind and fire, sky, something. Water, earth and sky. Timberland. Okay? That's my t-shirt, that's what it reads anyway. I just want to let you see it and call it night. That's all for now. Oh, the other thing, one more thing, is that all the equipment that we buy, you own everything that we purchase. So you own all of the high-rise buildings, because we're going to be more or less putting those up in restricted areas where there's no more room left for housing, and we start going on the hill side of things, not down on the flat, on the hill, and we can get a lot of space under the hill, and so we're going to do that now, and they're more or less like bunkers by the sounds of it. So the other thing is, big companies will buy big shares and normal people buy little shares. So that's all. I think I've covered everything. Yeah. So that's about it for now. I think that's my night. And it is now 9:31 p.m. on the Saturday night. And I'm getting sleepy because I'll be back up at about 3 in the morning. And I don't sleep very long, so we'll leave it at that. and we'll catch up with you again soon. Bye for now. Have a nice evening. See you later. John Wanoa. Right, yeah. Bye. Oh, bye. Yeah. You stop? Oh, it's still going. Hang on. Oh, I pressed the wrong button, sorry. So let's try that one more time. Have a good evening, and we'll see you later. Bye for now.